Welcome to Test Roll. I'm Martin.
I'm Lars.
And we're here today to examine yet another camera. This one is a slightly more modern camera than the ones that we have been looking at. When I say modern, I use that advisedly because it's probably older than many of you looking at this.
This is a Canon EOS1N 35mm film camera. Now, if you're familiar with the Canon line of digital cameras, the Canon 5D, for example, is a great digital camera. You're going to be real familiar with this camera. They have a look and feel that is very similar. Here, let me try this out. The film camera is a bit heavier. This one has a optional winder on it and a battery pack, so that makes it a little heavier. But this is essentially the line of cameras that eventually became the digital line. They were able to repurpose the basic design language, I guess, into a digital format. I had the Canon 5Ds, and I ended up buying some lenses for it, some Zeiss prime lenses. This is my 100mm. And I'd never given a thought to using the Zeiss lenses for film. And then I saw that why this EOS1N was available for about $200, I think. I think that's what I paid for it. And I could use my beautiful Zeiss lenses to shoot on film. And I was like, oh boy, I got to do that.
It looks formidable.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's lighter than the Mamiya C33, which isn't saying a whole lot. Do they all have this sort of winder?
No, this is actually an optional thing. But it's a camera that I think is designed and built to be more of a professional tool. It's not the sort of thing that, you take on vacation or you take to a party and take photographs of your friends. I mean, not that you couldn't, but it's really more, it gives you tools like auto exposure, autofocus, in a way that is designed for somebody who really knows what they're doing, but it kind of expects you to know how to set it manually anyway. And that's the nice thing about this camera, is it can be used fully manual. These are all manual focus lenses. I always set it up as manual because that's just what I'm most comfortable shooting. I think actually as an experiment, what I'm thinking I might want to try as we go shooting with this thing is I kind of want to set it to like auto exposure, and I don't know, maybe using that other lens do autofocus, because that's just something I never do. And
yeah, I gotta say that one of the things that sort of, when you first mentioned the idea of using this, as I get older, sometimes having autofocus seems to be real attractive. Is like I'm trying to squint, and I could see its usefulness.
One thing that is very cool about this camera is there are a lot of EF lenses available.
So it would fit my digital lens.
Yeah.
My kit lens.
This lens will fit right on that. I have a 24mm tilt shift lens that will fit right on that. I have a lomography Petzville lens.
Many ways to focus with that, or out of focus with that.
I have the glorious 70 to 200 millimeter zoom, and this is an autofocus lens, and it's like it actually autofocuses. It's like I am so unaccustomed to anything that is automated that when I discovered it autofocused on that camera, it's like, wow, this is cool. So there are a lot of lenses available, from the inexpensive to the very expensive. Loading film in the thing is easy. You just drop the cassette in, put the film basically where it needs to be, close it up, and it just winds it for you. When it's done, it automatically detects it and rewinds the film. It's just got a number of useful little features.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with a camera almost made this century. Well, shall we go out and shoot some?
Yeah, let's go and shoot.
All right, very good. We'll be back in a little bit and see if we want to pull our heads off. Here we go, 1313. Hey, that's pretty close. It'd be right about where that tank is. Or it could be right here. Hi folks, we're back from doing our walking about. We're going to look at some photographs.
Okay.
All right.
So
we're starting out with the U-Haul, but not just any U-Haul dealer.
this is the location of Edward Weston's old
Studio. This was this
It's a
was
step up.
from it. Yeah, well, it was a pretty crummy old studio. And he could have made a ton of money if he'd taken portraits while renting out trucks. I like that. I really like that shot.
Yeah, it kind of works. It keeps the focus on the mirrors.
And this was, again, I believe Weston Studio was roughly where the propane tank was.
Yeah.
This is the other side. Did they bring him back and bury him in Forest Lawn up there? Or?
No, I don't think he's buried there.
No,
I think he's probably buried in Carmel or somewhere.
Oh, okay. You know, being buried in Carmel would be like awfully
sticky at least. Yeah.
You got that, didn't you? But you know, the thing is like Weston, if he had had the improvements of modern technology, if he had had color film, a completely automatic camera, he would have been a happy man. Yeah. He would have enjoyed the heck out of himself with using this lightweight, easy to use format rather than having to only take one picture in a day or perhaps even a month.
It is so tragic that Edward Weston did not find his calling as a wedding photographer. Had he been born later, or had Canon started making the EOS1N earlier, maybe history would have seen Edward Weston differently.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have helped his career a lot. Anyway, so as a tribute to him, we were shooting with the most advanced camera that we personally have our little mitts on right now, and that's this EOS.
Yeah, I mean, the EOS is just weird for me because it is so advanced. I mean, it does everything for you.
And remember, it's over 20 years old now.
Yeah. Do not fill above this line.
I love the social commentary.
Yeah. Social commentary with trash bins.
Oh, and one of these beautiful Southern California vacant lots.
Yeah, there's something I like vacant. These like lots between houses or buildings, and it's like they always end up being filled with wildflowers or grass.
And I like this sort of grass detail with the strong stalks. They're very crisply focused, while the rest of it sort of almost goes into almost watercolor wash.
Yeah. And this is all done handheld with a 200 millimeter lens.
Yeah, and arrested development.
Yeah, that I guess somebody has not been working on it for a while. Somebody's going to tear it down eventually.
What I think is just kind of amazing is just the ability to capture light and shadow here and keep it so you can see it, really.
Yeah.
And I've always had a thing for giant forklifts.
Oh, yes. Well, who doesn't?
And here's Lars about to club me with the camera.
Beaten with a GoPro.
Yeah, just like Bob Crane. Except it was the
Just
tripod.
more the up-to-date, modernized version. I think that when you carry around equipment that is a bit pricey, you learn to think in terms of, well, how do I use this as a weapon?
That's right. That's another use for it.
Yeah. I mean, I forget what these flowers are called, but they basically look like sunny side up eggs.
Well, I like that bee.
And what's neat here, and again going back to the camera, this is handheld. It's relatively shallow depth of field. It's zoomed into 200 millimeters, and it's sharp. And I was able to use autofocus, auto exposure, and I didn't have to worry about anything but just getting the shot when the bee was in the right position. And one of the things, I don't know that we've mentioned this, but when you fire the shutter on this camera, it's responsive. I mean, it fires right then. And that's like really critical when you're trying to capture the moment. The lovely low contrast. What is it? I think this is called the North Atwater Bridge. It's a pedestrian bridge between, well, North Atwater and Griffith Park. Well, the 5 freeway right by Griffith Park.
But then again, it gets into this abstract, almost graphic quality.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had some other stuff that you were
Yeah,
shooting.
I mean, just to sort of give you a sense of some of the stuff I've done on this camera before. And shooting film on this camera is a lot like shooting a digital camera.
Well, I like this. This is a dandelion, right?
Yeah. I've just got these terracotta pots in my backyard, and it's like weeds all over the place.
I like the green and the the red of the terracotta.
Yeah, it's kind of going for that. I like that. And again, it's very soft light, but I did like the color contrast.
Mm.
And now these are all shot with the Zeiss 100 millimeter prime lens.
That's not macro.
Yeah, it has a macro. It can do like 1 to 2, so it's like the greatest magnification is half of normal size, whatever that is. But I'll set my focus to the minimum position and then sort of move myself in and out, until I get the focus I want.
And that's a handle?
Yeah, it's a handle on a barbecue.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like my rosemary plant, and I love the blue of this I guess it's terracotta glazed pot. But,
now, this is what?
This is all Ektar.
Ektar. Oh, okay. Yeah,
all of these
it's got a
macro
nice
shots
look
are-
to it.
Yeah, I like Ektar.
Oh, that's neat. It's almost mysterious.
Yeah, it's fennel. I love shooting fennel with really, really shallow depth of field. This is the evil passion flower vine that has taken over my front yard, and I keep trying to kill it, and it will not die. It's one of the broken off little tendrils. It's strangling my guava. And these are orange leaves from my orange tree in my front yard.
I really like the way that the light's coming through the back of them.
You see sort of the structure of the internal structure of the leaf.
You couldn't have set that up in the studio better.
Yeah, that's one of the things I do like about just shooting out in nature is you just run into things you would never think to set up. Now moving on to a different, and now for something completely different. This is the sick, tasteless, disgusting, I'm ashamed I need to take a shower part of myself. On a whim, I bought a Pro Mist filter. I am so deeply ashamed of myself, and it's like I was a kid in the 1970s. The only other thing worse is a star filter, and
it's just around the corner.
I may get there at some point.
Oh
anyway,
yeah, the liquor store, yeah, nice.
But there is something that really appeals to me of lit up buildings at night in a misty environment. There's just something very cool about it.
No, I like these.
Charlie's
I think
Tacos. I just love the blooming lights here. Then behind this is a car wash on York, and then there's this little food truck.
I like how the car wash, well, it looks like the mothership's coming to get the taco truck, which I think somehow is appropriate.
You can sort of hear that opening title music from Alien. Yeah.
Tacos.
Oh
yes, and the shot of
the liquor store
with a
shot.
stoplight.
Yeah.
Stop liquor.
No social commentary intended, and yet somehow I managed to do
There it is.
anyway.
I feel like a beer already.
I guess my reaction to the Pro Mist images is that it feels like a tasteless trick that you're doing to get people to like you. And it is the worst of human neediness coming out, and it's something I hate about myself, and yet I do it because, oh, that looks cool. Maybe this is a subject better discussed with my therapist. But
Guilt complexes and photography. Anyway, thank you for bringing out this behemoth. I mean, it is in its configuration with the big motor, heavy, but it was really fun to be able to go out and shoot and let the camera do a lot of this stuff for me.
There are days when, you know what, I really like just, having a camera that does a lot of the grunt work for me.
Yeah, I'd totally do it again. And folks, if you have any interest in shooting with the early EOS, well, you may want to think about it, because I found it to be a really fun camera. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll hope to see you again real soon. I'm Martin.
I'm Lars.
And this has been Test Roll, and we'll see you next time.